Welcome back to Council Bluffs News. I'm Aaron Zach. Joining me in studio today is David Burns. He is the Community Affairs Officer for the Council Bluffs Police Department. Dave, thanks for joining me today.
Thank you.
Today we're going to be talking about Halloween safety because Halloween's coming up and trick-or-treaters are going to be out. And for parents, it's going to be obviously the number one concern of, is the house going to be safe they're going to? Is the candy they're eating going to be safe enough? So what can parents do to take the proper connections to make it right?
Well, it's going to be a lot of the same stuff that's been proven over the years, even before I was born or growing up. What you're going to want to do is stick to the neighborhoods you know, stick to the neighbors you know. You're going to try to, anything that's homemade, make sure it's coming from a person that you know, a family that you know. I wouldn't recommend eating anything homemade from a stranger, even though there are older folks out there that do like to hand out those kind of treats in good faith and just to be neighborly. Try to get the little kids out a little bit earlier in the day so they're not running around in the dark. Go to houses that you know that have porch lights on. Don't encourage them to go to any houses that are dark. And then have a parent along for the younger ones, perhaps with a flashlight as it gets darker. That way it adds a little bit more safety to it.
And as homeowners, what can they do to make sure that other houses are safe besides their house for when trick-or-treaters show up?
Well, make sure your house is well lit. Make sure your neighbors know what's going on. If there are houses in your neighborhood you want your kids to stay away from for any number of reasons, make sure that the kids know that and their friends know that.
Speaking of Halloween and safety, there's a lot of foot traffic. A lot of times people are like 5 or older are going to have their parents with them, and then you have the teenagers who are going to be going out on their own for the first time or for many times. And so what can pedestrians do to make sure that they're safe so that nothing happens or a tragic accident happens?
Right. Well, there is going to be a lot of foot traffic, but there's still going to be also a lot of motor vehicle traffic out there on Halloween. So we're going to encourage you to do the same thing. Cross at all the crosswalks, cross at the intersections. Don't run across the street. Make sure the little ones have older ones there to help them out and make wise decisions. The older kids are going to be a little bit tougher. They tend to run faster and run around the little kids and not pay as much attention. But again, we're going to discourage that and be safe about how they get out. We don't want to have anybody struck by a vehicle this year.
And then finally, what if there's any suspicious activity, what can they do?
Again, hopefully you have a parent with you. If you're on the younger side, make sure you have a parent that you know of that you can tell. If you're in your neighborhood, you have neighbors around you that you know that you can always run to, safe houses and that kind of stuff to let them know. And if ever needed, by all means, call 911.
All right, David, thank you so much for joining me.
Appreciate your time.
Have a safe and happy Halloween.
Thank you.
Council Bluffs News will be right back after this. Stay tuned.